morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. And what's today's topic going to be? Let's talk about making your own tool holder versus buying them. Is it that hard? I'm going to assume you've got some basic tools. You've got some kind of a skill saw, sandpaper, a drill, some bits, and some wood screws, something simple. Let's change the video. Let's get right to it. Let's have a discussion and see whether or not you would just as soon make it or you'd rather purchase it. So first up, here we go. Okay, so here's one by Astong Power Tools Storage and Tool Organizer. So they sell this one for $48.99. It's not a bad price. If you don't want to do the handyman, get out in the garage, let's build it kind of a thing, but you want something for your drills, okay, there's a 3-level one here. It holds 5 cordless going across the bottom. The slots are already cut in. This thing's basically ready to go. The wood is sanded down. The metal, well, it's stainless, but it's painted, and it's easy enough to go ahead and hang. You can take a look above and see the holes in the back there. You can just zap this thing in and call it done instantly. So I don't think it's bad for $50 for somebody that just doesn't want to do it themselves. But let's say that you do. Let's say that you want to get out there with your son, or because of all the quarantine going on right now, you want to go out, pick up, some pine board, which is cheap enough. Lowe's, Home Depot, you bring it home and you want to build your own. Okay, let's change the picture. Let's see what else we can do here. All right, let's take a look at this one. Now, this one's made by SunX, and they have different variations of this, and I'll leave you the links below that you could take a look at the different ones if you wanted to buy it rather than build it. But if you're a DIYer or you have a son you want to get out there, family members, and we're on this quarantine thing and you want to make something, what you can do is you can actually go to Home Depot, Lowe's. Pine is inexpensive. The cost is up to you, but you can get it in different widths, different lengths. Pick yourself up some stain, maybe small can of it while you're there if you want to stain it. You can get a countersink bit for $5. You got drill bits and a drill at home. This would not be a hard project to do, and you can, like I said, make it your own specifications. You want it to hold 8 drills, make it longer. You want the shelf longer, you can do that. You want to make it more deep, you can do that. The drawer itself is not hard to make, or you can just simply not make the drawer and you'll have another shelf. I mean, this is very easy to customize on your own, but it's something for you to think about, and it's not a hard project. Take your time out in the garage. You got, really, it would not be very costly at all. It'd be very cheap. It's just the price of the lumber, because most of us have all of the basic hand tools here at home, and, you can make it however you want. All right, let's change the picture. Let's look at one other one you can consider. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, we've got a more upgraded one. Of course, it's almost $110. But if you take a look at this, this was the club favorite. This is the one that the people at the club favored, not so much to buy it, but to replicate it. And so I'm going to give you the dimensions here in a second. But I mean, if you take a look at this, I found this is pretty slick. I mean, you have this, if you have the room for it anyway, you can make this easy enough out of that pine board, and you can get it, like I said, at any of the big box. And just by drilling, countersinking, screws, glue, sandpaper, maybe some stain, you can make a really nice one. You can put a power strip on there for charging your batteries and so forth. And this is the one that I favored over the one with the drawer in terms of making it. So we decided out at the club we were going to make 2 of these, and the club members, of course, are the ones that wanted to have them. So we went ahead and we sketched it out, but this is what we use. Let me show you something real quick. Okay, so in this one, I'm giving you all of the dimensions because somebody had written to me and said, I don't understand what the spacing would be for, hanging the drills. And I don't understand how you got the rounded corners. And I don't understand, and on and on and on. Okay, start off with this. Get the boards from out at the big box store and use this like a boilerplate, like as a basic. And then you can turn around. It already has the spacing on here for you for your drills, your cordless. And it's got the platform, the length, the width, the depth. It's got everything here. And you can adjust it according to the lumber that you're buying out at the big box. If it's a little bit deeper, who cares? If it's a little bit longer, make it as long as you want. This is you customizing it to the way that you want. But these are the basic dimensions. You can hit the pause key, sketch it out yourself. How do you do the rounded corners? Well, you could use a jigsaw if you have one, Or you can kind of figure out a way to round them off and then sand them. If you've got, like a power sander of any kind, or even a hand sander, might take you a little bit. But with basic tools, you can round them if that's what you wanted. We did not do that. We left them square. Who cares? So the ends of these were square where the drill hangers go. The rest of this are just simple cuts on lumber. And you can use a skill saw and a straight edge easy enough. And the rest of it is just screws, glue, and time. It's not that hard. Let's switch back. Let's do questions and answers. First question, what kind of wood glue do you use? Any generic wood glue will do. You can get it out of the big box store. It's inexpensive. If you're using wood screws, it doesn't matter that much. I use wood screws on most all my wood projects now, and I use good quality ones. The other question is drywall screws. Yes, of course. On something like this, you can go ahead and use drywall screws, easy enough. Now, what kind of stain or what, that's up to you. Just take a look. They sell small cans of it out at the big box, or you can just leave it alone with a nice light colored pine and put a coat of linseed oil on it. One of the club members put on one coat, let it dry real good for a few days, put on a second coat, and just left it alone. I mean, linseed oil is very cheap. So that's another suggestion, for you if you wanted. I mean, it looks good. It darkens it a little bit with a little bit of an amber color added to it, but it looks good. Okay, any other questions? The question is, did I stain this before or after I assembled it? Okay, well, what we did is we went ahead and we cut everything to size, and we kind of mocked it up to know that it was going to go together without any problem. Then most of the stuff comes pre-sanded to some degree. We sanded all of the large flat pieces that were exposed with 150 and then 220, and it didn't take long because this isn't a big project. We didn't sand it, to any huge degree, but 220 is more than enough. It gave it a very nice smooth surface. Then we stained it, and then we let the stain dry, fairly well, and then we went ahead and we assembled it then with a little bit of glue and wood screws. That's the way we did it. Now, can you assemble this whole thing and then turn it around and stain it? Yeah, you can. A little hard to get into the nooks, crannies, and all that stuff, and especially where the drill holders are. So for us, it was just much easier to do that stuff ahead of time and then assemble it. But like I said, you don't have to stain it at all. You could wipe it down with linseed oil, or you could just leave it alone. It's not going to get weather damage, so, well, it shouldn't if it's in your garage anyway. Can you do anything about the dimensions on this? I don't know exactly what you're trying to ask. Like I said, I gave you the basic dimensions. When you go out and you buy the lumber and you get it home, measure it. And if it's a little bit wider, my thought was, who cares? And the friend of mine made his a little bit longer because he put a power strip on each end. Because on one end, like where you see in this here, he put a stereo in his, and he's got speakers sitting there. So on one end, he's got his stereo speaker hooked up to it. And then he's still got additional plugs because the bench is below him to plug in his power tools. The other end is for a charging station, USB port, all that stuff. It's like I said, you design this how you want it as you're assembling it. So that's what's nice about doing it yourself. You can make it to your own liking. There's not many questions on this. This is something for you to think about. If you really don't want to play around with it, buy the inexpensive one. It's nice to be able to slip your cordless drills and your cordless tools into these slots and have the shelves available. It's just more storage is nice, and it's very visible. That's the other thing I liked about it. I like things that are visible to me when I'm working out in my garage. Okay, but it's up to you. I'm just saying, with the quarantine going on and stuff, and you got some time, if you go out, the pine's cheap. Build this thing. Have some fun with this. Anyway, I'm the Home Handyman's Helper. I hope you click subscribe, follow us. If you've got a better solution or a better product, put it in the comment below. If you enjoy these videos and you like me bringing you these deals, give me a thumbs up, or, tell me, hey, this is cool. I like this, Anyway, you folks have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. We'll do more, and I'll bring you more deals and sales. Thank you. Bye-bye.